Okay, so a quick note about your projects. So project 1 is due on Sunday, this Sunday coming up, the 25th. A note about it, make sure that if you downloaded it right after I put it up there, make sure you go back and double check, because there was an error in there where it referred to 1990 instead of to 2000. So if you have a copy of it that refers to the year 1990, go back and take a peek at the updated version referring to year 2000. And that is the correct one. I did post that up in e-learning last week, but I wanted to make sure that you guys all caught that. So your no, Corin, means you didn't have any questions? Is that what that means? Thank you. Okay. So if you guys want to work on things, you can. The only thing I would do would be maybe a little bit more with factoring trinomials and sort of the general factoring problems. So if you wanted to do those, absolutely, Dakota. Did you want to set up meeting times? Yeah, you know, that's totally up to you guys. So you can work on how you might get in touch with each other and whatever people are comfortable sharing. You know, some folks might be a little bit more comfortable doing a group email since you all have your Delta emails. And you can actually go into e-learning and you can contact people by email. So you can email the whole class if you want to set something up, or you can, email, and then when you get it down to, say there are 4 or 5 of you in the study group or something, you can just email the 4 or 5 of you if you want. Yeah, I agree, Dakota. It's a good idea. There is also a study group that is happening. Oh, I got to remember the times for it. Mrs. Nichols, Katrina Nichols, who is one of our former teachers in the math department. Well, she actually still teaches for us, but just as an adjunct. And she's not teaching this semester because she didn't really want to do online teaching. But she is doing online study group sessions for Math 119 students. So let me find that just in case any of you are interested in attending. Okay, so they're calling it facilitated study groups. So she would be there along with you to sort of help keep you moving. And they are meeting in Zoom. So the info is at that link that I've provided in our chat. And that's on Tuesdays 3 to 4 essentially. So if that time works for you, that's something you could do. Or as you said, you could just create something on your own as well. Any other thoughts or questions? That was a more general one, but a good one in any case. Thanks, Dakota. Dakota, do you want me to send out the initial email? And
Hey,
find
can
out.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was gonna type it, but if you just send one and say like we're thinking about doing a study group, if you want to join it, and then I can add people or something like that, if that's easier.
Okay. I mean,
Whatever.
because if I did it, if we do an email chain, it could get kind of messy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we could do that. It's just that if I do it at first, it's going to have everybody in it. And then if somebody wants out, we have to figure out how to get them out.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So, but maybe what I'll do is I'll just send an initial email out and say, who wants in the study group? Send me a yes. And then we'll create a smaller email chain of everybody who showed interest. And then if someone else wants to get added, we can just add them to the loop.
Perfect.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll just send an email to everybody, and I won't blind copy everybody. I'll just copy everybody so you can all reply and see everybody's replies.
Okay.
All right. Okay, sounds good. It's on my list. Send email. Okay, thanks, Kellen and Megan. Okay, so it sounds like at least 3 of you are interested.
Or if I could put my number on here, and then if they text me, I can add them into.
Well, if you guys want to do it that way and you're comfortable with that, I'm cool with that too. That might be simpler.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just put my number in here.
Okay. Thanks, Dakota. Yeah, it is that time of the semester when we're all starting to get a little stressed. We're right at about the halfway point. Week 8. I can't believe it. Reminds me, one more thing I need to do. All right, my list grows. Okay, so what are you guys working on right now? Dakota, what are you working on?
I still have to take my test.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I worked extra hours this weekend, and I was gonna do it, but I wanted to sleep instead. So I got one section to do and then take my test.
I'm trying to think. Wait a minute. Oh, you need to take your chapter 5 test.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Yes. I'm so confused. Okay, what's the date today?
The 19th.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes, and that was due yesterday.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I adjusted that one as well. Due on the 18th. My adjustments aren't on my printed version of this. So I have to sort of adjust those a little bit, and then we should be kind of caught up. Yeah, and then we get a little gap in there after chapter 7. Okay. All right. So Kellen also just starting chapter 6, so he's about the same place as Dakota and Megan. Megan's a little bit behind too. So if you guys want to, I'm not gonna force you ahead, because in order for us to make sense of the next couple of sections, it's really going to require that you've already done some factoring practice. So it would be a good idea for you to go ahead and practice those first. So if you guys want, I could just hang out here and you can ask questions. And I figured out how to write on stuff when you guys share. So if you come up with a problem in Alta and you just want to share it, I think if you share it and I open it on my iPad, I can just go ahead and I can write right on it. So I figured that out this weekend. I guess that was good. New little trick. Without going off into, say, the whiteboard or something. So it was just a little bit simpler. Hannah, how's it going?
Good.
Okay, good. I didn't mean to pick on you, just was checking in. Okay, also though, do remember the project is due on Sunday. It's not hugely long, but you're not going to want to try to get everything done probably, in one sitting. You might want to do some work and then come back and refine everything before you turn it in. So make sure that you don't wait until the last minute on that. It can be turned in late for a penalty, but you don't want a penalty. So make sure that you get it in on time on Sunday. And if you have questions about it, you can ask about that too.
Is that the only thing due this week then?
So, I mean, other than, let me see. So that's due on the 25th, and then the next test is not due until the 28th. So that's correct. That's
Okay.
the only thing due where there's a late penalty if you don't get it done.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. So maybe once you get done with your test, you could move to that.
Yeah.
Although it is going to be a good idea if before Wednesday, if you've done at least some practice on the factoring stuff from the beginning of chapter 6, because then we can do a little bit more with that on Wednesday.
All right.
Okay. All right. I am going to pause. I'm going to record this. So the idea behind this was that we have to share the screen, and why isn't it sharing? Megan, are you seeing my screen?
I see your face. Is that the screen you're talking about?
No, that's not the one. All right.
No.
Let's try this again. You know what I think? Hang on. No, leave meeting. Let's see. I think this is so funny. Yeah, I just figured it out. Okay. We're going to do this differently. Oh, that's kind of funny that I did that. So all right. So I think what I did is I was sharing my screen, but I had gone back on my iPad to my other class. So I was like totally in a different room with nobody else there, all by myself. And so when I looked at my computer and I didn't see my screen, I knew something was amiss. And yeah, that's what happened. So let's see if I have this right again. Go back to your problem, Megan. It was u squared minus 3u minus 5 divided by u plus 3. So the idea here was that we do sort of an estimation, then multiply, then subtract, and then we just keep repeating like we would do in a regular long division problem with numbers. And our estimation is always first term divided by first term. So we're going to start with u cubed, oops, I'm sorry, not u cubed, u squared divided by u. And we just simplify that to get u. And so that's our first estimation. And I like to line up terms with the same power, so I put my u there. Some people put it right over the u squared. It doesn't really matter. And then we would multiply. So we would go u times u plus 3 is u squared plus 3u, and then that goes right underneath here, u squared plus 3u. And now it's time to subtract, and so that I don't make sign errors, when I subtract, I change signs and add. So that means this is going to be a minus u squared minus 3u. U squared minus u squared is 0, so these guys go away. If that doesn't happen, then you goof something up in that first step and you'll want to go back and retool. But it did, so we're in good shape. And now I've got negative 3u minus 3u, or plus negative 3u, is negative 6u. And then I bring down my negative 5 and I repeat the whole process. So next time through, we'll just kind of divide this up. Negative 6u divided by u is negative 6. So that goes up here, and then multiply. Negative 6 times u plus 3 is negative 6u minus 18. And then we're going to subtract again, or change signs and add. Negative 5 plus 18 is 13. And that's my remainder. And so we write our answer as quotient plus remainder over divisor. So my answer would be u minus 6, because that was my quotient, plus 13 over u plus 3. Or if they just asked us what the remainder was, the remainder is the 13. Is that helpful to see another one, Megan? We did those a few days ago.
Yeah, it was helpful. I had a question.
Okay.
Like with knowing to subtract instead of adding in the other way around, is it because since u squared and 3u are already positive, so we switch it to negative?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it's essentially what we're doing, and we're just writing it differently than we would if it was just a subtraction problem.
Mhm.
We're doing this. We're taking our u squared minus 3u minus 5, and we're subtracting u squared plus 3u, which is what we had when we multiplied. But when we do that, remember, we have to distribute that minus sign. So it's a minus u squared minus 3u. So that's why I just changed with a different color pen, whatever I had on that line.
Gotcha.
And then the u squareds go away, and we get a minus 6u minus 5. And that is probably the step that contains the most student errors overall. You have to be really careful with that subtraction.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If one pops up, or if anybody has one that is from Alta, if you would share it, that would be helpful, just so I could check it out with you guys and make sure what I think will work from what I did over the weekend really does work.